Okay, we're gonna go ahead and call the July 24th, 2025 City Council meeting to order. Councilwoman Moynihan, would you like to lead us in our invocation?
In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Gracious God, we are grateful for the opportunity to serve our community. Guide us with wisdom and strength and clarity in our decisions. Bless this meeting and our city and our shared commitment to the common good. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
And before we get started on the agenda, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. We recently lost a retired city worker, Mr. Quentin Conway, also known as Scooter, if that's okay. Thank you. I just want his family, friends, and loved ones to know that they are in our thoughts and prayers.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, any agenda amendments? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to announcements. July 31st, 2025, we have our budget workshop at 5:30. August 5th, 2025 will be our next city council meeting. Here tonight, we have our guest, Mr. Rayon Galloway, for the city emergency gas plan.
Good afternoon, how everybody doing? I'm the gas operator for the city of St. Louis. And I gave y'all like the first page right here. We mail this out twice to all citizens so we can let them know what to do if they smell gas, anything. And I send it out once a year through the Seacoast Echo. On the big manual that I gave you, your procedure plan, I'm gonna need you to turn to page 4. Everybody there?
Yep. Yes.
Introduction. This emergency procedure has been prepared to provide data essential in an emergency situation. The Pipeline Safety Code requires for a written emergency procedure and contains in pipeline and hazardous material safety administration, PHMSA. Office of Pipeline Safety, Pipeline Safety Regulation Part 192. This procedure manual is written in accordance with CFR Title 49, Part 192, 192, 615, and will be maintained at the gas system office by the gas system manager. No emergency procedure can cover all situations. There is no substitute for the sound judgment of the situation by the person and persons involved. In any emergency, the protection of life and safety of the public is prime concern. Property is also important but secondary to human life and safety. Before any emergency, it is the gas system responsibility to develop an emergency procedure to meet the gas system needs. In addition, everyone who will have emergency response function should be familiar with and content to these procedures. It is the operator's job, with the operator's responsibility to provide training to these persons. I need to turn to page 18 of that same manual. In case of emergency, this is your emergency contact, and the operator who you would call. But we buy our gas from Gulf South Piping. It comes across the bay, and then it comes through to Allman Avenue, hits the first regulated station at Allman Avenue. It goes down Toomey, all the way to Washington Avenue to that second regulated station. Then it follows all the way down Central, all the way to Alcon, to the third regulated station, or Alcan Cape. But it's cut off right there. And all your numbers. You got Pipeline Safety, Jackson, Mississippi, DOT, Washington. You got Mayor Mike, Chief, Police Chief Alvin Kingston, Fire Chief Monty Strong. Today. And I have to do this every 4 years, so every time y'all change council, like I would have to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rion.
Okay, moving on to the next agenda item, it's minutes approval. Has everyone had a chance to review the previous minutes? If so, I'll call for a motion to approve the minutes of July 8th, 2025.
Motion, DeSalvo.
Do I have a second?
Moynihan, second.
Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-0. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and, I know this is a little bit different for some of y'all that are regular attendees to our city council meeting. You'll see we moved the public forum up to after our minutes approval before any of our agenda items. We think that this will improve the flow of our meetings. So with that being said, a couple reminders, you're here to address the council, not the administration. We're also gonna ask you to keep the comments about agenda items, and we have a stopwatch here to keep it under 3 minutes to improve the flow. But also, this isn't just to improve the flow of the meeting, it's also to encourage the residents and the public to take the proper channels, who they need to contact through the administration, talk to your council member, your councilman at large, so that we can address the issues properly and that we can handle our council meetings to handle council business. So thank you for your understanding and cooperation. However, when we do get to some sections such as planning and zoning, if you're the applicant, the council member may call you forward if they have any questions, but pretty much we want to keep it streamlined. So if you do want to speak about it, we ask that you speak about it in public forum as well. So, and if any new evidence is brought forward in our planning and zoning, we're gonna ask you to go back to planning and zoning for a new recommendation. So just so y'all know if y'all come up here wanting to present anything new. So with that being said, Ms. Anita Warner, will you come forward?
Anita Warner on behalf of the Live Oak Registry, and what I would like to address today is the motion to approve planning and zoning's sketch plat for the Shieldsboro subdivision. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is it is to reconfigure the 3 land parcels into 70 new parcels. And the reason why I'm saying this is, if you have been by Shieldsboro anytime in the last 2 weeks, you will have noticed that they essentially have clear cut the back property. They got rid of a lot of trash trees, water oaks, hackberries, Chinese tallow, privet, and various and sundry vines. But as I understand our current ordinance, we do not require that when the developer is building or when he has completed building and when someone buys a house, that anybody install any landscaping. No trees. This is the height of the summer. If you have been outside any time in the last 2 weeks, you've noticed a huge difference if you go underneath some shade. It's between 10 and 15 degrees. I know that we are working on a new code, and I hope that as part of the new code, we require people who build residences to install trees. You don't have to make live oaks, they're big, but you can install all kinds of other trees. There's numerous kinds of oak trees. We have swamp maples, we have crepe myrtles, we have sweet bay magnolias, which are small and pretty. So my whole thing is we need to make people plant trees. Trees are planted for the future. We just put 4 in over at McDonald Park, and so far they're making it through the heat of this summer. So that's what I have to say.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We'll
Thank
take
you.
that into
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
consideration in the future.
Hey, Risa, where are we at on the new zoning, the codes?
We're hoping to have a draft for, the first draft to give everybody in August.
Okay.
Mr. Tad Black, regarding the budget, is the budget on the agenda?
No, I just have a question about it. When is the public hearing gonna be held for the budget, for the 25-26 budget?
So we have our
There's a budget workshop scheduled for next Thursday.
The 31st.
Then we have a tentative budget workshop, if needed, the Monday prior to your first August meeting. Then at the first August meeting, there's a potential to ask for a motion to advertise for a public hearing, which would then be 2 to 3 weeks out from there. That's
Thank-
all on the budget calendar that was advertised and approved by the council a few weeks ago.
Thank you very much. Item number 10 on planning and zoning, I'm asking the whole city council to vote against this 17.4 foot front yard setback. That has happened in the past on Demolition Street and now in weekends and stuff that people park. They say we have off-street parking, but they're not. And I hate to see this keep going on and on and on. That's a pretty large variance to be asking for a front yard setback, 17.4. I mean, that puts it like 6 foot from the city proper. I'm just asking the whole council to vote on this and to vote against it and then continue to try to get back to where we're not giving those large setbacks. You know, when people buy property and they want to build a bigger house, that's not a council problem. That you should have thought about that when you wanted to build a bigger house and bought a bigger lot. And I've seen lots and too much of variances where houses are 2 foot apart. They got one on Demolition Street right now. The two houses are 2 foot apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Black. All right, Mr. Gary?
Good afternoon. Gary Ponche, 221 Union Street, Bay St. Louis. First of all, I wanted to congratulate this on the agenda, interim chief Alvin Kingston. I've known this man for a long time. He was brought in here by my son. He's been very loyal to the mayor and the council, and I think he will do a great job for y'all in the future. So I'm asking for your support. Try contacting each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate the response that you've given me. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gary.
Okay, that is all for the public forum. We're gonna go ahead and move on to planning and zoning. The first item is the motion to follow planning and zoning's recommendation and deny the application for a variance of a 2 foot to the fence height requirement, resulting in an 8 foot fence submitted by Shane Terriot, located at 321 St. George Street, parcel 149F-0-29-177.000. The recommendation was to not deny 3-2. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to follow planning and zoning's recommendation to deny the application.
Vote the motion?
Aye.
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 Nay.
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 Aye. Motion passed 4-3. Call for a motion to follow planning and zoning's recommendation and approve the application for special exception to allow an accessory dwelling on a lot exceeding 15,000 square feet submitted by Lorenzo and Jessica Jackson, located at 947 Old Spanish Trail, parcel 137K-2-36-009. It was approved 4-0. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Smith. Vote the motion?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 7-0. We're gonna move on to agenda item number 7. I'm gonna call for a motion to follow planning and zoning's recommendation and approve the application for sketch plat approval for Phase 2B of Shieldsboro subdivision, requesting to change the configuration of 3 parcels of land into 70 new parcels of land and 2 detention area submitted by Bay St. Louis Homes and Properties LLC located in the general area of the Shieldsboro subdivision, which lies along Old Spanish Trail between St. Charles Street and Spanish Acres Drive, parcel 137R-0-44-051, parcel 137R-00-44-050, and parcel 137R-0-44-049. It was approved 4-0. Do I have a motion?
Moynihan motions to follow planning and zoning's recommendation.
Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Smith.
Discussion.
Yes, absolutely. Any discussion?
So we're looking at this is obviously phase 2, 2B. So it's R2, R3, correct? It's where it's zoned in? Mainly R2, right? But we're not following the R2 setbacks. So what's the total lot size of these? Not the 10,500 square feet, I'm assuming based on the
No,
setback?
this isn't a special use district. You'll have to apologize. I can't get my computer to turn on, so I'm going off of memory. But it's in a special use district that was approved, the last time they came, I guess, for the first phase or.
So there's no
phase 2A.
deviation from any setbacks from the last
And,
one?
well, yeah, there's definitely deviations, but it's all from within what was approved in that special use district. So the R2, I think that's, what is it, R2, 10,500? R3, is it 7,500? And these lots in there, again, I don't have it in front of me, but I think they range from 6,500 to some of them are bumping 11.
We're looking at, with the max lot coverage and increasing that to 65%, and my biggest concern is just the side yard setbacks, and also we're looking at a minimal, rear and front as well. But just to reiterate, all of these setbacks do not deviate from what was previously submitted, or?
It is following the special use district, so it's the same thing that was my understanding is the same thing that was submitted under the 2A. Is that your understanding of it?
Approximately how many homes is going to be developed?
70.
70.
Well, there's 70 new parcels.
The one thing I would ask Bay St. Louis Homes and Properties LLC to consider to address Ms. Warner's concern. I know it's not in there, but if you would consider planting some trees going back in there.
And I was in the past, planning and zoning also, not a proponent of the higher dense. I'm glad we settled on, because at the time it was much less than 70. But over the years, we've seen more and more issues that have been promulgated by having homes that are close to each other, whether that's the side yard. Really, at the side yard, we've seen it to where there's increased issues with flooding neighbors and all of that. So again, I do have some concerns as to the sheer number on this one as I did on the previous phase as well. It's a beautiful, look, it turned out really, really nice. A lot of people like those small areas. But I stick with my concerns I had previously.
In the previous phase, was there a 65% lot coverage with those homes as well?
Yes, sir, it's all the same.
All the same.
And nothing's changed and as far as planting trees, I think the builder is going to be following the tree order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll be planting trees. But
And Bobby, I think that is what, if I remember correctly, on this, that did change, y'all, from what you had submitted a few years ago, to make sure that the trees were on lines and that lots were different sizes, to make sure that, you didn't have a lot sitting in the middle of or a tree sitting in the middle of the lot that you couldn't build. And then I think you also have a brick roadway that's being proposed,
Yeah.
which more details will come on that later, but to preserve some trees that are close to the road, or the proposed road.
yeah, there's a huge tree there that we're want to protect, obviously, so we're going to do brick pavers and things like that to make sure you get the irrigated right. But yeah, some of the lots are larger than the 70-foot that was approved because of the tree. So we just made them bigger lots. So no trees will be affected by any homes, no tree permits will be issued or even requested.
I appreciate that. You're cognizant to that
Yeah.
issue, because I get a call quite often, and I'm sure the mayor does too, about concerns about those oak
Yeah.
trees being cut. So you're, to reiterate, not one oak tree right now that's standing will be cut on any phase.
No,
Any other
I'll be
discussion?
happy to answer any other questions.
Any other discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Motion first, right?
We motioned.
We had a
second
motion and a second.
Okay.
One is-
Time for
Vote aye.
Nay.
aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-1. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8, motion to follow Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation and approve the application for variances to reconfigure 2 parcels of land, with parcel 1 needing a variance of 2,000 square foot, resulting in a 10,000 square foot to the minimum lot area, and a variance of 25 foot, resulting in a total of 75 foot to the minimum lot width. Parcel 2 needing a variance of 4,500 square foot, resulting in a 7,500 square foot to the minimum lot area, and a variance of 25 foot, resulting in a total of 75 foot to the minimum lot width, submitted by Dawn Smith, located at 415 Thomas Street, parcel 144M-0-19-247, and parcel 144M-0-19-248 was approved 4-0. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Davis. Do I have a second?
Moynihan seconds.
I have a second by Councilwoman Moynihan. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-1. Motion to follow Planning and Zoning's recommendation and approve the application for major site plan review for a recreational vehicle park submitted by Rust Enterprises located at 10160 Chapman Road, parcel number 138H-0-46-028. It was approved 4-0. Do I have a motion? Councilman Lewis, do I have a second?
Second, DeSalvo.
Second, Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0. All right, we're gonna move on to agenda item number 10, motion to follow Planning and Zoning's recommendation and approve the application for a variance of a 17-8 setback to the front yard and a variance of 6'1", resulting in a 1311 setback to the rear yard. Constructed a new residence on the property submitted by Philip Meesak and Candace Gunning, located at 401 South Necase Avenue, parcel 149M-1-29-050. It was approved 4-0. I'll entertain a motion.
Moynihan motions to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman DeSalvo. Any discussion?
Just mainly because it's following an existing slab warehouse was
That's-
tore down.
Yeah.
Yes,
it
this
was-
is one that, you know,
It's not,
going down a couple years ago, and they building the same, back on the same parcel with the same house that was
Footprint.
at.
yeah, same footprint, so it's
Yeah.
not a new one we allowing that close. It's building on the current slab.
Right.
Thanks for clarifying that.
All right, vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion passed 7-0. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 11, call for a motion to follow Planning and Zoning's recommendation and deny the application for a variance to the minimum parking requirements for a boutique hotel submitted by Corbett Nico LLC -29-035 and parcel number 149L-0-29-036. It was approved to deny 4-0. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Holmes. Any discussion?
Yeah, let's have some discussion on that. So, watched the meeting and also spoke with Commissioner Dosher. So I think one of the concerns, I thought she brought a really good point as well, is that one of the biggest issues based on its proximity is gonna be where the loading, unloading area is. I know about a year and a half or so ago, Mayor, we put in a loading zone on Main Street that's approximately probably 100 feet from this area. So I'd agree with Commissioner Docher's concerns on that being a congested area, would not want any cars, stopping, in the, obviously in the traffic to try to unload. So I think that was the nature of having a loading zone there for the businesses, right? So this is for all the businesses that are in the downtown area.
Yes, and we're looking at some other ones that will be for unloading, but for unloading in the restaurants and businesses. Time frame hadn't been set up, but when we redo the restriping up there, I think Jason's finished it. We're just looking over the crosswalks and everything. That'll be tied into that, where we'll have certain areas to be parked.
And that would be, we'd have to do that in
Yes,
congruence with
that'd
the
be for
county.
deliveries and all.
Okay, for the county. Because that would have to be, because aren't we in discussions with the county as it stands now for
Yeah,
that
we'll,
loading
we'll
zone?
go by them with it and, make sure they're okay with it.
But the one that's being utilized, it's probably a little far for some of the food vendors to go in some of those
Yeah,
restaurants.
we had one at the foot of, which we need to restripe Toomey Street, and then, we're urging them to pull over in the parking lot, in Cousins parking lot, that the city owns right there, we urging them to pull over in there. And then we'll go back down the road towards the Motlins and add some more down there on the Blind Tiger side, North Beach to Panties through there, to where we can get trucks off the load and let them unload and all for deliveries.
And of course, and there's gonna be off-site parking, which again is not an anomaly from what we've seen, probably on a much smaller scale even from previous hotels that I think got the approval to have off-site parking. Applicants here, I just have a quick question in terms of what the actual retail, I'm just curious as to if you guys have, if you don't mind just approaching the mic, what the retail is gonna be there. I mean, I like the concept of having a hotel boutique. We've got a pretty good selection, obviously restaurants, bars there is unique in some aspects, so would love to hear what's potentially going there.
Yeah, so I mean, our goal was to have the 4 hotel spaces above it, and then have a kids and children's kind of entertainment zone, because obviously we are from the area, and when we started this project probably over a year ago, and talking with the city, we were understand that really there was a lot of restaurant and bars already in downtown area, and something different really wanted to come to the area. So that was kind of where this idea came due to, okay, well, let's buy this property and put something that is really cool and unique in there. And I guess kind of selfishly, I have 2 kids, and I wanted a place for them to kind of hang out in Bay St. Louis when we were down there. And so the goal was to put kind of like a little kids area down there that would have playgrounds, entertainment zone underneath, and then have 4 hotel rooms above it to help cash flow the project. And that was kind of what and I understand the planning and zoning deal with the project. Then we'll probably go back and put another restaurant and bar down there, which I believe we wouldn't have to ask for any variances or anything at all, and go right ahead. And I think that's kind of something that obviously we have two other restaurants and bars in the area, and very good at, and we don't mind doing. But and it probably be more affordable for us and make us more money. But we really wanted to do something for the community to help be better for the area, and give something that really wasn't already there back to the community, and have a cool project. But I understand completely whatever y'all decide, and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay,
And that,
I have a question. So I think what my concern is, the concept is cool. A lot of people know that I like to tend to, work with the youth and especially bringing new things downtown. If we allow the off-site parking, and you own that parcel currently now, right?
Yes.
What happens if the parcel is sold? Is there going to be any contingencies to keep that parking for the boutique hotel as well, or do
So
we lose
I
that?
do not own the parking area currently. I own the site where the hotel is going. And I mean, yeah. So I think we could have a contingency in there where it was tied to a business license that would be allowed to the room. I imagine y'all will make us have a business license for the area that we'll have to renew annually. And I assume the city would have an ordinance that would require us to show parking for that business license, that we would have to do it.
Jordan,
each time.
you don't own where you're proposing parking. You don't own it, but you guys have like a
Very,
a 50-year lease
I
or
think it's
something,
25
25 with an option to purchase, or
Yeah.
there is some
first
sort
right
of
refusal and a 25-year lease on the
Yeah.
property. And it has renewal on as well.
And that's always, and that's a good point, and, but it's a concern too. I mean, again, I try to look at maybe on a comparable, that's a little higher scale again, from the hotel across the street, I believe they've got the off-site parking to where majority, I think maybe 41 or 59 spots. They've got it behind Crocco's, but that's not accounting for the 59 rooms, so I think they use that off-site paid parking there also, which we could have the same issue there, is I don't know what the contingencies are, but if that was to ever sell or become something else, we're in that same situation. So, I mean, it's a good point. Good to hear that there is a long-term lease on that to where, kind of mitigate those concerns.
Well, and we did that for the restaurant, and we weren't required to have a parking area there. We just saw the issue there. We understand what y'all are dealing, and obviously we do a lot of developments in the area and understand how that works. And I think we really value the project. And I think it'd be something neat. I mean, we have a house probably a couple blocks away from there. I think everyone who's out there kind of drinking, have a place for all the kids to go. I think it'd be a really cool thing for the area, especially on weekends. It brings a different crowd to the area. But I thought that was what was wanted in the area when we first started this project. And obviously, thank y'all very much for your time as well.
And Jordan, I just want to say, I'm not against the project that's proposed. My biggest issue is the off-site parking, obviously. I know it's only a 200-foot variance to get. We have, as Kyle mentioned, we have another hotel down there that has a parking lot and can't prove it, but one can guess that those people are not parking in that parking lot, they're parking off-site. So there's no guarantee that those tenants that are going to be coming to occupy the hotel, that they're going to be parking in your off-site parking spot. They're just going to pick a spot on there. So one thing I really would love to see going forward in the city, I'm only one councilman, one vote, is to go with no overnight parking, to where it'll force, if a project like this, we wouldn't have to say, oh, they're just going to park on the street. No, they're going to go take you up on your parking. But currently with our ordinance that's in place, I think we would be doubling down on a decision that will cause a parking issue to go even further. So just wanted to let you know where I was on. I think it's a great project. I think it's a need.
What you mentioned with this new plan coming in on the parking, there will be no parking
Overnight. Great.
probably from Demopolis and down all the way to the railroad tracks through there, down Main Street, probably to the courthouse from a certain time in the morning. Can do a couple things. That's where we'll be able to unload and trucks and everything. It's also gonna give us the opportunity to clean our streets better without parked cars out there. Can go through with the blowers and sweep and this and that and everything. But we'll do that from a certain time, whether it's from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'm not sure what that time frame's gonna be. And when we looked at overnight parking before, just putting signs over overnight parking, one of the things we ran into, 8 o'clock still there is considered overnight. So we'll put specific times on there where they won't be parking to help what Jordan just stated.
Yeah, I think that would address a lot of issues. So
It's gonna address it with everything.
with everything, absolutely. It'll cover a lot of bases. So all to say, I know, obviously y'all are great developers and y'all are very successful in y'all's project. So I'm thankful that y'all are considering developing in Bay St. Louis. But if we had something that if I knew that was a guarantee, later on, I know I can't ask you to wait on your development, obviously, but I would consider, I can't promise I would vote, but I would consider on that extent. But the way it is right now, I just think it would extend the issue.
No, and I agree. But I mean, I will say, I lived in the French Quarter up until last year, and even there, people would get drunk and they leave their cars right outside multiple times.
Well, and one thing I'll just kind of leave with this. I mean, the reality and kind of the irony in this, and it was just mentioned, is you have a business here that really, I'm a sucker for, you say kids. Obviously, I've got 4 kids that need something to do. So having that, but really the reality is you have a business that potentially has a much less volume of traffic that would be there. It's required to have spots, whereas it can easily be turned into something that doesn't require any parking, that can be much more high volume and add to the congestion there too.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of the crutch of it, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Vote the motion?
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
Why y'all put me on the spot? It's a
like this?
tricky one. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-2. Okay, moving on to the mayor's report. I'll let you want to talk about it, Mayor Favre, or?
I do. I think, a couple weeks ago, we ratified our city department heads, everything. And at this time, I'd like to ask for the ratification of interim chief Alvin Kingston to make him full-time police chief for the city of Bay St. Louis.
I will entertain a motion to ratify the mayor's appointment of Alvin Kingston as police chief for the city of Bay St. Louis.
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman
Moynihan.
Moynihan.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
This is in no way promulgated from any disparity to the candidate. I think, of course, interim chief Kingston has done a tremendous job. He's been with the force. I guess my question is, and I asked this the last meeting, and really, Mayor, you can tell me to go pound sand because I can't, but I do want to understand, were there other candidates that were potentially, interested in it that were spoken to or interviewed? Because I would like to see, again, anytime you have anybody, because I do understand there might have been some internal candidates as well, may or may not have been as qualified, but still having an opportunity to discuss or interview on that position. Was that done in the process?
No, it wasn't.
Is there a reason for that? Or?
Just, he was brought on 8 years ago almost, as an assistant chief. And if the opportunity arose throughout time and we felt like he was qualified, it's no different than the other promotion inside the city. We try to stay inside and felt like the job he has done the last 6, 8 months, he's been over there without assistant chief, he's been over there without a captain. He's been, I think he's done a great job what he's done. I think we've seen progress over there. I think we got people stepping up with the patrol, our community involvement and everything, it's still good. And I just think he deserves the opportunity with what he has done.
I can only speak for myself, but I definitely was looking forward to the application process and interviews being done. I know offhand that we did have some individuals within the department who were qualified and who were interested. I do commend that you went with in-house to make this appointment, but I know there were others who are also qualified and also people in the community who's qualified too. So for me, I'm a little disappointed that candidates wasn't at least looked at because I think as a council, it is our due diligence to make sure we are supporting, and nothing against him personally, but when you have nothing to compare to, it does raise a lot of questions for myself. I know, actually, I think Mr. Kingston's been in the position about 9 months now. I want to say it was November 24th when he got the interim promotion, or appointment, I should say.
About right.
But I personally, maybe you can answer, haven't seen anyone been hired within the last 10 months. I think we had maybe one officer was hired and he's already left and went back to his previous employer. And I know the numbers are low with the department. I won't go into specifics, but it looks like we're extremely low as far as officers currently.
We lost 3 because of situation inside the city that was, nothing to do with the police department itself. Moving on personnel issues, policies and all. We lost 1 there to Gulfport, I think it was. And again, I don't think anybody could recruit anybody with an interim position chief. I think, now naming him chief, I think he got the opportunity to go out and try to get some people involved. But I don't think anybody would jump jobs to an interim position.
Can we get a kind of a retention and recruitment plan to address some of the, I know you mentioned 3 vacancies, I think that puts us at a total of 8, but I would like to kind of understand, okay, what's the area of, how we can attack from a marketing standpoint or recruitment. Would like to kind of just better understand kind of what's being done to try to get those vacancies filled, because I do agree with Councilwoman here that we are low in numbers.
We are.
And that was one thing I didn't consider, with him being an interim chief, maybe that is a handicap trying to recruit. So curious to see what comes if he is voted into police chief tonight.
We've struggled the last 8 years recruiting, Some people have been brought in under false pretenses. Yeah. Promise this, promise that over time, and when it don't work out, sometimes they leave.
But I do agree with Councilman Lewis. If we can maybe see some sort of what his plans are to bring people in the event he goes through, I think that would be just reassuring to us.
Yeah, you know, and look,
And we'll help them with any recruitment
Yeah,
tools that
definitely
needs.
retention and recruitment, because at one point we were fully staffed, and of course, law enforcement is
well,
a revolving
wasn't
door.
fully staffed, but we had part-time people filling full-time positions, and some of them was just a name on the books.
And I think that's something that has been brought up before, if we would allow actual part-time positions to maybe fill in, like on the
Yeah.
weekends, to go downtown and help with that as well, with the noise complaints.
No doubt.
Yes, I think we're all in support, but there are some things that we are concerned about that we want to see implemented, so that we're not necessarily in the predicament that we currently are in.
Any other discussion? Okay, vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Swearing in will be tomorrow, 11 o'clock, up top, City Hall. If anybody can make it 11 o'clock, you know, appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
moving on to council business. I will entertain a motion to appoint a member to the, I guess I'll ask for an appointment first, and I'll make the motion with that person. Do I have a,
I would like to appoint Miss Nancy Nolan to the Solid Waste Authority.
okay, so I have a motion to appoint
We'll
Councilwoman,
nominate Ms. Nancy.
Councilwoman Moynihan as a member of the city council, or to the board of directors of the Hancock Solid Waste Authority. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Okay.
Second by Councilman Smith. All in favor, or vote the motion?
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0.
Thank y'all. on
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
And I see this is just under council business. I see on here, I'll read it as it's written. Majority of the Bay St. Louis City Council would like to thank the City of Bay St. Louis for the opportunity to attend the Mississippi Municipal League Conference. This event allowed the members and attendants to gain valuable knowledge in the areas that directly impact our community, including municipal budgeting and finance, infrastructure planning and grants, legislative updates, community development, and strategies for improving public services. We are grateful for this chance to bring this information back to better serve our community. And it just has each one of us listed as a thank you, from Councilman Davis, myself, Councilwoman Moynihan, Councilwoman Holmes, Councilman Smith, and Councilman DeSalvo. I really thank y'all for allowing us to go to that.
Well, I look forward to y'all schooling me on that.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I was out on business for the past few days up in Memphis, but look forward to hearing what you guys learn.
I'll still call you for advice. All right, we're gonna move on to project updates. Engineers report.
Good evening, everyone. Again, congratulations to the new council. A lot of new faces up here, so I look forward to working with you guys throughout the year. We do have a report. We have 2 action items for tonight. One is to authorize us to advertise for construction bids for the Bay St. Louis Downtown ADA Boardwalk. Not sure if our new folks are familiar with what this project is, but it's basically, it's been a grant that was awarded, partially Tidelands, and then some from Gulf Coast Restoration. This is phase 2, right?
Phase 2.
Yeah, so it's gonna tie in a boardwalk over the seawall between basically Demontleson and the railroad track. So it'll create some usable space there, assembly area, benches, lighting. If you look at that seawall and the scour pad on the back side of it, it's not really a true walkway. It's not ADA compliant. So this will add an ADA compliant component to downtown. We have 4 or 5 phases of the overall master plan to connect all the way to Ullman Avenue. And so that's another project that we're working on is its 3rd phase would be from Ullman to DeMontleson. And then I guess phase 4 or phase 5 would be the beach access ramp. So what we're looking at tonight is just authorization to advertise phase 2, which would be the boardwalk from Demontleson to basically the railroad track.
Okay. So you want me to skip ahead to 17 or actually, I'll entertain a motion to approve the supplemental agreement for the Washington Street additional work items.
Oh, did I skip some?
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry.
skipped that.
I've
I'm
got
sure
them
we'll
backwards
get
on
you
my
in-
report.
We'll get you in
That's my bad.
discussion.
I'm sorry. My report, I have them backwards. So we can do this, you wanna do that one first?
Yeah, we'll do
I
that
can
one first.
explain that one too. So this is for the Washington Street sidewalk. This is at MLK Park. The project came in about $20,000 under budget. And so we really don't wanna return that money back to MDOT. So we work with the administration. There's some additional amenities, some landscaping. I think what's included in that supplemental agreement is in our packet. It has, there's a fire hydrant that continuously gets run over on the other side of the street, so we want to put some bollards around that to protect it. There's a speed table that's included, so what that is, it's like an extended speed bump to keep traffic slow, to slow traffic down near the park. And so that's included. A decorative sign that would go near the entrance to the park. And that sign would match kind of the other signs that are downtown, you know, with the archway.
The old type?
Yeah.
Okay.
The archway, it won't be overhead as high as the ones downtown, but we're trying to keep some consistency with all the park signage and signage throughout the city. There's a decorative sign in there, fencing. There's a section of fence on the west side of the park, near Mr. Acker's house.
Correct.
That's down, been removed. There's a gap in there, so we want
How
to,
much fence that is, Jason?
it's about 40 feet.
Is that just where the alley goes through to Washington Street, or is that along Mr. Acker's house?
It's right by Mr. Acker's house.
It's like right behind his house that goes to the
Right.
little store.
Mhm.
Yeah, the alley back.
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll close that gap through there. That's what's already out there, and then some Indian hawthorns. I think we have some of those out there as well. So the supplemental agreement's $20,937. Again, this is really no additional cost to the city because we had already budgeted to spend that money. And the way these MDOT grants work, MDOT pays for 80%, city pays for 20%. So this isn't gonna cost city any
Jason,
additional
it's been
funds.
approved by MDOT too?
Yes, it has. So that's why we're coming back to the council for the final signatures.
Remember your mic. Can't hear you. Your mic.
Get close to your microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will entertain a motion to approve the supplemental agreement for Washington Street additional work items. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Also entertain a motion to authorize the city engineer to advertise for bids for the Bay St. Louis Boardwalk and ADA Access Project. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Moynihan seconds.
Second by Councilwoman Moynihan. Vote the any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay.
I do want to jump back from the city. Do you have anything? I'm sorry.
No, that's the only action items tonight. You have our report. If there's any other questions about any other project, I'll be happy to answer those, but that's all that I had for.
Jason, if you wanna fill them in, maybe where we're at on the road paving out in Sixth, FEMA project and everything.
Sure. So that project, has
Ward
been.
6, you're referring to?
Ward
Yeah,
6,
Ward
six.
yes, ma'am.
Ward 6.
So FEMA has approved that as an improved project. So we're gonna go pave asphalt, pave the road with asphalt instead of the DBSD, which was a different type of surface treatment that was damaged from Hurricane Ida. We actually started this week. We rode most of those roads with Ronnie Vaney to kind of get an idea of where the repairs are gonna take place. So within a couple of months, we should be ready to come back and request authorization to advertise that project for construction bids as well. I think it's about 3.1 million is what FEMA has approved. And so we may have some alternates in that project just to be sure we stay below that.
Okay, good, thank you.
That's,
Oh, and Jason, when y'all do go out there to MLK Park, just putting on your radar, there is a parking curb right in front of that gate, the big gate that opens up to allow like a trailer.
Okay.
Maybe that can be,
we need to move that then.
Yeah.
Like a wheel stop, like a parking.
right, it just prevents you from actually pulling into the park. If you needed a trailer, like the coach trailer and whatnot, you actually have to go over that curb, and I just
Okay.
foresee that being damaged or causing damage.
Yeah, we can address that. Thank you for that.
Jason, on the sewage project, I know in the past couple meetings, the mayor and I have discussed some areas along Third, It looks like there's some, that's where some sewer drains are. And I saw them actually, it was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. It looks like they were smoking those to see if there was a leak, because it's a substantial washout right before those drains.
That's on a Third by St. Charles.
Third and St. Charles, and then also, yeah, that's the main one. It's right before you get to St. Charles, and then they were doing one kind of near the Christ Episcopal Church too. Do you know what the results are on that? Are we gonna be able to add that to the scope of getting?
Yeah, we can add it. They did inspect the manhole. The manhole's fine. There's no signs of any kind of infiltration or any damage to the manhole. They are gonna go back and inspect it with their camera that they can run through the sewer line. So we suspect that it's gonna be the connection to the manhole that's probably that's failing. There's also a service tap near there. So it could be the tap from a house, residential line that's failing. So that's gonna be addressed as part of that, the overall citywide sewer project.
And they're going in once those are rectified, and they're having to tear up the road, and we let it settle. We got to put some limestone. How far after are we going to go in and have the contractor? Are they going to be responsible for repaving that?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So like if you think about the one that they just patched,
Valentine.
Valentine, and then I was thinking the one on St. Francis and Estabrook. So that's not the final product. These are all just temporary patches. They'll come in and actually saw cut the road. It'll be a full width repair from edge of the road to edge of the road. So it's not just going to be a regular patch.
Can they do that from point to point, or are they trying to do that all at once this whole project? Because that's what I kind of worry about.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? What options?
They're working on getting paving subcontractors to get all that scheduled. We've got a list of probably close to a dozen or so repairs that we need them to go ahead and get fixed. And that's what we're working on, trying to get them to get that scheduled. Anything that's a major issue, like the one on St. Francis, the rocks are washing out just about every day. Valentine's the same way. So they're able to go out and do a temporary patch on that just to put some asphalt in it. But then they'll still come back and do the final repair before the contract's completed.
Did they do a temporary patch on Valentine?
Yeah.
They did do that?
I think they did.
I don't know if they did the one closest to the intersection, right there by Third, but the big one they did.
Okay. And they'll go back in and get that.
They'll go back in. They'll cut the full width of the road. Yeah, it'll be a full width repair.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Jason.
I do want to take a second. I want to jump back before the city clerk's report. I realize under council business, I just read everything and I didn't give the council an opportunity if they anything. I know
Yeah.
we typically do that.
I would like to say, going back to the police chief, that I'm in full support of his being police chief. I have fielded phone calls from several of my constituents in Ward 2, and they have been really happy with the prospects of him being appointed as chief. And I really think he'll do a good job, and I want him to know that he's got my full support, and I think he'll do a good job.
Thank you.
Dear constituents, I just want to say to Basil Kennedy's family that you're in our prayers, and I and we are heartbroken for your loss. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was brought to my attention or request another speed bump situation on Bookter. We have 2 currently in place in front of the softball fields, football fields, but I was asked if we could possibly replace and put like the ones on Felicity, at least put one. I guess they're bigger or wider, and maybe that would help.
Taller.
That's a stop bump.
I know. I went down Felicity and was
Not
like,
sure.
gosh, but I know it would help because school is about to start, so we're definitely going to be calling on extra patrol during that area for when school lets out. The kids tend to speed up and down Bookter, but
Is there one in between those two?
yes.
And meaning like, is there one's probably low, one's probably high?
That was the first one he's ever done. That, Felicity Street and McDonald Field.
Yeah,
Park.
they're definitely.
That was the first 2 he ever did.
Okay.
And so we just need to cut it down about an inch,
Yes,
maybe.
yes, there's something
just
serious.
just a little bit.
But I was asked that.
Ronnie's
so-
waiting on him to come back over for some patchwork. He's the one that does our patchwork and all as well. And just, I guess, I don't know, it just takes forever to get him back over here and all.
But I bet they have no more speeding complaints on Felicity.
And it'll just be replacing though, right? They just got one
Right,
now,
right.
so your
They're two
replacement's
there.
already there, yeah.
Just I guess a bigger one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'm good.
I'm good, Mayor.
Just kind of echo what Miss Nancy was saying about Alvin. I think he's do a good job. I think he's come in 2 times when we didn't have a chief and took over until we hired somebody. So I think it's deserving to give him an opportunity to prove himself in that role and see what he can do. So I think we'll be good. So also just MML was good. I think it was great to have a lot of new council members go, meet people, network. It's a good vibe and a good feeling. And the last councilman didn't say nothing, but I'm looking forward to the next 4 years with the new council, because I think we've got a great group up here, and we're gonna do some good things for the city. So, thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
I agree, the MML was phenomenal, and we got a good family feeling out of MML, with our fellow councilmen. And, we did learn quite a lot, especially with the new laws that have been passed, and, how to help facilitate those new laws in, helping us with our city growth. Things like that.
And I just have one thing. I would like to, I know we kind of changed the structure of the meeting a little bit today, moving public forum up. Is there a way if we could, I guess, come up with a procedure ordinance that we could come up with, adopt, that way the public is on the same page with the council? Is there something we can do there, or?
Absolutely.
Good, we need that.
I don't want someone to show up to the meeting and say I didn't know that I should have talked during the.
We can definitely work on that. In fact, I think either MML or Mississippi State, one of them has a draft one. So
That's why
we can, Jason Camp, I think, sends a draft
Did I get
one.
anything from Jason Camp, like
So-
a draft one?
I think
Y'all remember?
yeah, I'm pretty
Maybe
sure I
so.
have it.
We'll
I'll check.
we'll get you. We'll use that as a base and try to get you something back. Hopefully by the next meeting, if not the one after that. The other thing that I guess I need to know if y'all are even interested in, we meet the first. You have to meet the first Tuesday after the first Monday, originally in July. You can change that meeting. So do y'all want to continue to meet the first Tuesday after the first Monday each month, or do you just want to meet on the first Tuesday of the month?
I'd like the first Tuesday.
Keep it like it is.
I say keep it.
Keep it.
I'll vote keep
I mean, your problem is it's confusing. So sometimes people get really confused on those rare times that the first is a Tuesday. That's when this happens, when whatever day of the month is the first is a Tuesday, and then it pushes everything back, and people do get confused.
I usually
Doesn't-
get my reminder from Larry that there's a meeting today.
Doesn't make any difference to me. It does end up sometimes that you guys just have little wonky schedules that, kind of like this. This is this week with MML, because people plan around thinking it's the first and third. So that's totally up to you. Just wanted to let you know that option is available, so if you so choose.
But that is the type of thing that would be specified in the, like, a
Procedural
In the
ordinance.
procedural
Like,
ordinance,
that
correct.
date and time of your meetings would be
Yes.
like a chapter.
How would we go about getting a draft of that? Just
We'll get you one.
I'm
Make-
gonna get in touch with Jason, because I thought he
I
sent
have it.
something out.
I have it.
You do?
I do.
Can I just ask one thing?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the clock. Is that new? The
that
clock?
is
Yes.
that is new. That started today. I forgot to set it a couple of times.
And I guess my only thing is, we do, I mean, we are here to hear from the public. We have to do so in the confines of being time prudent, 3 minutes, but there's times to deviate, and I think it's a little rigid, but that's just my sole opinion. But
And I think more so for the purpose of the clock is if we have additional questions, or we can keep them up there as long as possible. And that's one thing I want to reiterate. I'm not trying to keep the public from coming up here and talking to us. I want to encourage them to, one, reach out to administration. If that fails, I want them to reach out to their councilman. If that fails, I want them to reach out to their councilman at large. If that fails, I think it would be a great idea for each one of us to start hosting a town hall. That way, once a quarter, as frequently as you would like, to allow them to come talk about things not on the agenda, and let it be more openly. Just because the council meetings, I think we need to stick to the agenda. That's just my opinion. You know, not trying to force it to be that. If y'all have any complaints, let me
So,
know.
I will
Open
tell
to
you
restructuring.
too, I didn't know we were getting the clock, but I will tell you, a lot of my clients use a clock, so it's not out of the ordinary. A lot of people have them, and then too, it helps whoever's talking to be able to gauge their 3 minutes. But the other one, I think your software allows you to do this. What several of my clients, what we have put on their agendas is just a little note with a star saying, if you sign up for public forum, you're allotted 3 minutes, and then it's on the agenda that's posted, it's out there, it's very well known. So if that's something you'd like on your agendas, I can shoot Caitlin over the blurb and she can figure out how to put it on there.
Yes,
I think
please.
that would be good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I just, whatever we decide, be consistent with it, but I also want the public to know. I don't want them to come here thinking that they're gonna get a chance to get up and speak unless they're called on. I want them to know before they get here that if they need to talk about something on the agenda, whether it's P and Z or anything, they need to sign up, and that we wanna talk about agenda items. Or, if a councilman wants to bring up an issue that a constituent brought up to them, I mean, that's fine as well, but as far as the sign-up sheet, I'd like to keep it to that,
The public forum part.
the public forum part.
Yeah, if it's on the agenda, when they look at it previous to this meeting, they'll see that they
Yes.
can formulate their discussion
Discussion.
Yeah.
to 3 minutes.
We'll see some creativity tying it to
Yeah.
agenda items,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
like I said, it's not to suppress or keep them quiet. It's more so we can stay on task. But I want to open up other channels for them to communicate to us, be it town halls or, obviously we all have cell phones or coffee. I love coffee, so go drink it with you. But anyway,
Coffee with your councilman.
that's just wanted to bring that up. If there's something we can look at and all come to an agreement on,
I agree.
We'll get you something.
like
I
that.
think moving public forum up too would be great too, because sometimes people want to discuss something that's already voted on before they've got a chance to speak about it on public forum.
Yeah.
So it kind of,
And it used to be, Josh, we used to have public forum
Up front.
up, and I don't know how that
yeah, I
came
know.
about,
Got
but it
changed.
used to be, and then it would let people
Well,
get out of
yeah.
here if they
And I
needed
think,
to too.
I think sometimes the guests might have skipped some of the public forum things that created problems before and stuff. So just gotta be mindful of that, I think. But
The issue we would run into with a lot of the council meetings with the public forum is they would drag on for 15, 20 minutes and nothing would ever be accomplished. It was just a horrible, we would leave out of here at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
And one thing at MML, I sat through a board meeting, a mock board meeting, and that was some of the things they brought up. One thing they said is you don't have to let the public talk at all at the meeting. I don't want to get to that. I want the public to still be able to come. But I did want to try to keep it to agenda items or let the councilmen bring up their issues for them or have a town hall. So that was some of the solutions that they proposed in that class. So anyway, that's all that I had. Any other discussion? All right, we'll move on to the city clerk's report. Do I have a motion to approve the docket of claims 25-033 dated July 24th, 2025 in the amount of $658,508.48? The motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Holmes. Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0. I believe this is the one.
The next one is B&J Pit Stop.
B&J Pit Stop. I do want to note that Councilwoman Holmes left the meeting at 6:35. I'll entertain a motion to approve the docket of claims 25-035, special dated July 24th, 2025, and the amount of $725. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moynihan, second.
Second by Councilwoman Moynihan. Vote the motion.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Any discussion?
No.
Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 6-0.
Mr. President, it's just in discussion, but that was one thing they did talk about. I think most of us was in the same class. The difference in the abstaining from a vote and recusal from a vote is recusal is no discussion, stepping out the room. Abstaining, you go with the majority of the vote. Whether it's a win or lose vote, you still actually register as a voter. So
Right.
that's an important topic for anybody that might be in a spot to
The
where.
only way to formally recuse yourself is to get up and leave.
Yes, correct. So I just want to make sure.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 20, a motion to approve the docket of claims 25-036, special dated July 24th, 2025, in the amount of $64,771.38. Do I have a motion?
Davis makes a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Smith. Vote the motion. Oh, any
Aye.
discussion? No. Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0. I'll entertain a motion to approve the docket of claims 25-037, special dated July 24th, 2025, in the amount of $392,138.55. Have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Davis, a second.
Any discussion?
Risha, can you just specify what this is tied to? It's the negotiable note, the interest and principal, right?
Yeah, this is P&I for one of our bonds.
Is it
But it came in either yesterday or today, and it's due before our next meeting. Now, we're obligated to make that payment, and we can make that payment.
Was it a 2020?
I don't remember off the top of my head if it's 2020 exact. When she told me today, she goes, "Hey, got to add another docket." I said, "Yeah, but add it."
This is the only one we get all year though, right? Annual?
Yeah, it's an annual. I'll email you on the exact year, which bond that is. I'll send it to you.
Any other discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Jordan, if you give me a second, just for new council members, and if you ever know, if you ever got a question on an agenda item on the docket, you can send me an email. I have all of those invoices. They're pulled. We can always pull it, scan it, send it to you. So if you ever got a question on something prior to the meeting, just let me know. And Doug used to be great about it. You know, I'd get an email on Sunday morning, and it was like, "Can you pull this one?" So
Yeah.
just know that we have that if y'all ever want it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries 7-0. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any issues with the way it is presented?
I just had a question for further clarification on one item.
Yeah.
Item 29, the sports lighting for the field at Comagé. I might need the administration to help me with this one. Hey, Mayor, or Riso, on item number 29, the consent, this is the purchase of the sports lighting at Comagé Park, right? So is this, what area is this, for the softball field or the football field?
What number?
29 on the consent.
It's Comagé
Yeah,
Replace the
this is the
football
football field.
Actually, I think I had a picture of.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're in it's only a 5-year lease, right, on those? So we're, I think 27, it comes up again. So what would be, so we're obviously purchasing those. Is there any contingency, should that lease ever change, of any kind of buyback on that value, or prorated as the?
Could always remove them probably and bring them with us, but I don't see, you know, they've been very good. We've had that lease for many years, and I don't see anything coming up that would jeopardize that.
Okay. All right. And then, item 22, the motion to extend the existence of local emergency calls by Zeta. What are we still, in the process of right now to extend that?
Zeta's the road repairs plus also some drainage,
Harbor.
and
Yeah.
the harbor's Ida,
Dredging.
No.
No.
Harbor's
Harbor's
either,
either.
road's either.
vice versa,
Right. Yeah.
one or the other. But yeah, it's still working on those two projects and all.
Okay, just
Well,
want clarification on that.
3 projects plus that from those 2 hurricanes.
Okay. That's all I got.
Any other concerns or discussion about the consent agenda?
I am just excited to see some improvement at Comagé Park. I think it's been a long time coming, so I definitely want to thank the city for that.
I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion.
A motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Moynihan seconds.
Any discussion? Vote the motion.
Aye.
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 Aye, motion carries 7-0.
Mr. President, I didn't catch discussion in time, just as we go into our budget workshops, we just authorized $44,000 reserve fund to be spent, and I think we have 50 going into it next year, so we need to just be vigilant on what we put into it and look at that budget closely if we can't make room to put some more in there.
And one of the things, this is part, I'm hoping this is part of the 100,000 we put up for the fire department as well, for air conditioning repairs on Station 1.
Yeah.
So anything not used in that, we can take and move that over as well to replace this.
Yes, so it's gonna be $500,000, $600,000 in that fire station and the air
It'll be
conditioning.
probably $500,000 in it.
That's
Yes.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
I think we street something, man, 40-something, man, 30-something.
That's why I was scared to approve that chiller when we did. I said, is this a guarantee? We said, we don't know, and we $150,000 more than the chiller when we're done.
Yeah.
That was it.
I will entertain a motion, going on to spread reports, I'll entertain a motion to spread the following reports on the minutes: cash balance, wage and hour report, revenue and expense report, and July chamber meetings report.
Motion?
I have a motion by Councilman Smith, do I have a second?
Second, DeSalvo.
Second by Councilman DeSalvo, any discussion? I actually do have one discussion. I noticed on the revenue and expense report, it had as of the May 31st. Is there for our, I guess more so for our budget meeting upcoming next week, is there a way to get one for June?
Yes, I'll check with,
Check with
Sissy on that.
Yeah,
It
perfect.
should be coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Vote the motion.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 7-0. Attorney's report.
I'm good.
Okay, no executive session is needed.
Then if you want.
No,
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting of July 24th, 2025.
Motion?
Motion by Councilman Smith. Do I have a second?
Moynihan seconds.
Any discussion?
Nay.
Vote the motion.
Aye.
Aye.